Hi Corkies, future DJ here. Just wanted to take a moment to state that this episode of Crips and Corks was recorded back in October before the election. I just wanted to take a moment before this episode to say things did not end up how we and many of you had hoped. No matter what, Crips and Corks remains a safe space for women, the LGBTQ plus community, and communities of color. We have your back now and always. And we're not going anywhere and would continue to provide our special brand of spooky, boozy comedy. Now, on with the episode.
So if you dare to find me, look to the western sky. As someone told me lately, everyone deserves a chance to fly. And nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me down.
Look at her, she's wicked.
Bring me
Look
down.
at her, she's wicked, and we will bring her down. Thank God that's over.
And that's why I should be on Broadway.
Corkies, if you are still here after that, welcome to episode 58 of Crips and Corks. I'm your host, DJ, here with my co-host,
Paul, as usual.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see, or if you're watching this on TikTok, you're going to see eventually that we have a guest. We have the one, the only Citrus here again with us.
Yes, we're ready for another dose of vitamin C.
Yes, the
I'm
last
ready
time.
to give. I'm ready to give.
Yes.
I know the girls and the gays were begging to have me back.
Banging down
Just,
your
like,
door.
Fan favorite, like the emails, the DMs, like
Yes.
the voicemails. It was crazy.
Right, they were like
I had to.
period. So how have you been?
Crazy.
How are
It's
you
crazy.
doing?
I'm tired.
What a move.
But yeah, just doing the thing.
Bopping around Pittsburgh.
The bops, the heads and hearts, the yeah.
Doing every Chapel Roan song you
Every
have.
chapel, I've done the whole album.
As you should.
At this point, I've done
As
the whole
you
album and unreleased music. So,
Period. I feel like
the lore is that Chapel's my girl.
we
I love
all love
Chapel.
Chapel.
I love Chapel.
Everyone should. Everyone should.
No.
She's just the one. She's the one.
Has anything paranormal happened to you since you've been away?
Unfortunately not. I would love. I wish it was, because I feel like my Gettysburg story was so fun last time. So it's really like hoping. I was like, please, something happen.
You just start summoning demons.
I know. I'm like so close to just like doing that. So I was like, I need a fun story next time.
It's fine. You're surrounded by demon twinks.
Demon twin.
There's plenty of demon twinks
yes.
around.
I liked that. I'm gonna pretend that was my answer.
There we go.
We'll just restart this part.
Was it?
Any paranormal experiences?
Just the demon twins.
Oh, demon twinks on Grindr. Yeah. Maybe not. You did the sound.
Grinder. Actually, yes. The paranormal experiences have been the amount of people that have ghosted me on that app.
Period.
There we go. Oh, we got it.
Well, you know now, Paul and I are officially paranormal investigators. You can always come with us. Try and see something.
Yes.
Our last one did not go so hot.
No, we tried.
Rip Mothman 2024.
We tried to find Mothman, and the only thing we found was disappointment.
I don't know. That Mothman burrito was good.
Yeah, the Mothman burrito was good. That was in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, which I don't. You've probably never been because there's no reason to go there besides Mothman.
My good friend Jordan is like obsessed with Mothman. I would say obsessed. Like he has like this ongoing bit where Mothman is like his deadbeat baby daddy.
I think we need to have Jordan on the
I
pod.
think you should.
I love that.
And anytime I see something Mothman related, I send it to him. I'm like,
Oh my god,
like
it's
your baby daddy doing everything but paying child support.
Running a whole ass museum.
So it's a whole museum. There was like a tweet where like someone like shoved like a $5 bill in like the Mothman statue.
I
like,
saw that.
Yes.
When we went, somebody had shoved a quarter in there.
That's So funny.
It's iconic.
I think that's so funny.
What did they call it? They had a name for it. The something behind.
I
can't remember.
Forget, but
It's out of sight, out of mind.
In one ear, out the other. On that, did you have any other questions? You were leading the interview portion.
no, I think we're ready to get into
Are
the
you ready to
alcohol.
drink?
I'm glad you asked.
Let's get in. What are we drinking, DJ?
Today we are drinking an Argentine Malbec from Tall Dark Stranger.
What's a dark stranger?
It is from the Mendoza region of Argentina, vintage 2021. Are you ready to meet your total dream wine? Rich and deeply satisfying, this Malbec never disappoints. Dark, juicy, smooth, and silky. Fulfill your wildest wine dreams. Sip it with something or someone delicious.
No, I don't know about Malbec, but I definitely know about bareback. And
Is that, are we calling back the... are we calling back?
yep, they call back to the.
Heard that about you.
You read it on the bathroom stall, didn't you?
Hey.
Okay, so...
Lucky Spot.
No,
We
we've
talk
talked
about
about
Lucky's,
worse.
we talk about Club Pit, we talk about
Oh, the club pit walls.
the wall.
If you know, you know.
If walls could talk.
Just Google club pit. Don't at me. Don't DM me.
Since the last time you were here, we had a technology upgrade.
Yes, we have an electric wine bottle opener. So
Love it. Me too. She's screaming.
is it coming up? Ooh.
Yes.
Well,
Yay!
No, I will say this bottle looks very interesting.
Oh,
That's the closest we get to the pop anymore.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, you win some, you lose
Here.
some.
It's technology.
If you can help me with the glasses, we don't have much room here.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We can still do the ASMR pour. Thank you. And you are going to have the big glass.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm stuck. You shouldn't have. I was wondering. I was like,
Give her the drink.
who's getting this really large glass that holds more alcohol in it? Surely not little me.
And cheers. Oh!
Sorry! Did that spill on you?
No.
Good.
No, but the blooper reel is going to be amazing for this.
Okay.
She's dry. She came from that way.
She did. She went in dry.
Can you grab a towel for me so I can wipe my laptop off real quick?
Yeah.
How many grapes do you give her citrus?
Is this
It's
Out of five.
5? Oh God. I'm gonna have to be a harsh critic and say 2.5.
Okay.
2.5.
You're not a dry girly.
No, quite the opposite. Not dry.
You like it wet.
Moist.
Moist. Moist is good. Moist
Damn.
and flighty.
Uh,
Not damn.
cheers,
I'll give it a 3.5.
She likes that swamp ass.
No bueno. No bueno.
I'm gonna give it a 3 too. It's pretty. It's
Oh,
like
no,
fine.
Yeah.
I'm the hater of the group. I'm like, 2.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I've become
2.25.
more accustomed to the dry lifestyle.
Oh.
I've been alone for so long. It's so dry.
All right. Well, with wine poured, Paul, citrus. Let me tell you a story.
Let's get into it.
On July 26, 1952, Argentine radio programs were interrupted by the following announcement. The Press Secretary's Office of the Presidency of the Nation fulfills its sad duty to inform the people of the Republic that at 20:25 hours, Senora Evita Peron, spiritual leader of the nation, entered immortality. Usually, death is the end of the story of a person's life. But in this case, her death was only the beginning of another chapter. A chapter stranger than anything that could be conceived for a musical or film starring Madonna. Today, we will be discussing the strange afterlife of Evita Peron.
Evita Peron. Okay, so I've never heard of her. Have you heard of her?
I have.
Don't cry
yes.
for me,
Yes.
Argentina.
Yes, the musical. The musical.
That was based off a real person.
Oh, I don't even know what musical that is. I'm not going to lie to you guys. See, contrary to my beautiful performance of Wicked at the beginning of the episode, I'm not really that well versed in musical theater. Wait, were you a theater gay in high school?
I was.
That's why we invited Citrus on for this specific episode.
I was a theater kid for a while.
Yeah.
I was like age 12 to age 18.
What was your favorite show you were in?
Probably Susical. I know.
Who did you play in Susical?
I was JoJo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was in Susical. I played Thing 1.
Yes. Come on, Thing 1.
I don't know how I got Thing 1. Apparently I was the only person in the cast who could do a cartwheel, and anyone who's seen my cartwheel knows it's very sad, so that's saying something.
Oh, they were like, hey, you got a nice right cartwheel. You're a shoe-in for Thing 1.
Yeah.
You're a shoe-in.
But Thing 2 couldn't do a cartwheel, so it's just a solo.
Well, here's the funny thing. Initially, I was cast as Thing 2, and then the director decided he didn't like Thing 1, so I got promoted.
Oh my god.
I'm not joking.
Oh my god. They're really... you were originally Thing 1, but can't do a cartwheel.
No,
Thing
like
2.
on the original cast list, it said Thing 2, and then by the time the program came out, it was Thing 1, and I had the Thing 1 hat.
Iconic.
I'll show you guys pictures after this.
Please do. I want to see it.
So this story starts after she dies.
I'm going to start with a little bit of history, like who she was, why this is relevant.
Okay.
But yes, Citrus, we're going to get into where Lord Lloyd Webber, I found that apparently he's a lord now, left off, because apparently he left all the juicy stuff out in the musical.
And maybe we'll find out why we're wearing these veils.
I will say, because we're talking about death and a body, the strange afterlife of a body, we are in mourning attire, including black lace mantillas.
Yes,
mine is hanging on by a thread, like a single thing of hair. Eventually, mine might come off.
Get scalped.
Oh.
So I have a couple, and I have 2 books, because whenever I do research with books, I bring them.
Okay.
We have Santa Evita by Tomás Eloy Martinez. Excuse me, I took French, so if my Spanish sucks.
It's Spanish with a French accent. You're like,
yes.
Oui.
And then, really helpful, and I really went the extra mile for this one. I bought this book from Argentina on eBay.
Ooh.
It is El Caso Eva Peron by Dr. Pedro Ara, who is an actual character in the story.
Okay. Now, did Roxy Andrews play Eva Peron?
Yes.
Yes.
To musical.
Wow, that's a little flashback, little Drag Race history.
All
for
right.
folks.
So we're going to do a little bit of background on our main character, Miss Senora Eva Peron.
Oh. Ooh,
And
she's pretty.
We'll have these pictures.
She's blonde, okay.
Diva.
Girl, she's a
She ate that. She knew she ate that.
Oh,
she
she
did eat that.
she ate that, and she didn't know she ate it.
Mm-hmm.
So Maria Evo Duarte was born on May 7th, 1919, as the youngest child of wealthy rancher Juan Duarte and his lover, Juana Imbagoen. When Eva was a year old, Duarte abandoned Juana and their 5 children to return to his legal wife and family, leaving his other family and utter poverty.
Oh, he left his whole family in poverty.
This was the second family.
Oh, wait.
So he was married and he had kids, and then he went and he met Donna Juana. That was actually her name, Donna Juana. Donna means like madam.
Oh.
Had 5 kids, and then a year after Ava, the last one, was born, went, yeah, no, I'm going to go back to my legal wife.
That's crazy about him. I'm surprised she didn't murder him.
The family would really struggle through this time, facing poverty and also social isolation, because it was really common for rich men in Argentina to have second families, but there was a huge amount of stigma amongst children who were born out of wedlock. Oh, hello.
Yeah, and isn't Argentina a pretty Christian country?
Yes, it's very Catholic.
So,
ooh, spooky. That's the real spooky part.
Yeah.
right.
The religious trauma comes back.
Yes. We'll get into that. So really, really stigmatizing. In fact, when Ava was 5, her father died in a car accident, and her family went to the funeral. And they were kept locked outside the gates of the funeral home for a long time until finally the funeral director cleared out his legal family and friends, let them in for like 5 minutes and said, you gotta get out of here. You can't, like, we're gonna have you barred from the church.
Oh my gosh.
And this really stayed with her all of her life. In 1934, at the age of 15, Ava left the small country town of Junín to move to the capital, Buenos Aires, to pursue a career in acting.
Oh.
By 1942, she had risen up to become one of the nation's highest paid radio actresses, acting in some of the most popular radio soap operas of the day on the nation's most successful radio station, also having a career in the theater and starring in a few movies, and being president of the Actors Union.
She's an entertainer.
Yes.
Diva.
So
She's
if
twirling.
you're doing the math, how if she was born in 1919, how old was she?
Bitch.
21?
I
In
don't do
42?
math.
21.
In 1942, if she was born in 1919, somebody help me. I really can't do this math.
Well,
Girl.
you're asking a table of gay people.
You
to
don't do math,
To do
okay?
quick math?
She's-
I can't do that.
Right.
Anyways, here's pictures of her in her actress days.
Oh, she was so pretty. Oh my gosh.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. I wish I looked like that.
No, she was a natural brunette, and she dyed her hair blonde to be more movie star-esque.
Okay. She wanted. That's why Madonna played her.
Yes. Now, her life really changed when an earthquake devastated the town of San Juan in January 1944. The nation's Secretary of Labor, Colonel Juan Peron, set up a relief fund and threw an arts festival with major celebrities of the area performing to raise funds, culminating in a gala on January 22nd where Ava met the Colonel. Peron,
Sanders? Oh.
Colonel Peron
Oh, sorry. I got chicken on the brain.
was a
Always think about
officer.
cock.
Oh my! You're always thinking about cock.
Yes, exactly.
Just cock and dick and cock.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about Dick Nixon.
Who's Dick Nixon? Like the president?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there lore there? I don't want to derail the.
No, his name was Richard and he went by Dick.
Yeah. Oh.
And he was a dick.
I didn't know he went by Dick.
Yeah, he went by Dick.
Oh,
Oh.
that changes things.
Not really. He was a dick, so. At least he was used to people calling him it. Anyways, he was an officer in the Argentine army who was one of a group of officers who had staged a coup in 1943 to overthrow the Nazi-sympathizing government of the 30s and installed one of their own, an officer, as president. My veil is all over the place.
Just take it off, girl.
Reveal.
She's going through the veil.
I'm not blonde. I wish I could have been blonde for this.
Pulled a Roxy Andrews.
I thought about wearing a wig. We discussed me dressing as Evita for this, but
Here we are.
Peron would be promoted. He was Secretary of Labor. In February of that year, he'd be promoted to Secretary of War, and in July, he'd be promoted to Vice President.
Ooh.
So he is up and coming. He is making money moves.
You better
Now,
work.
this is still Argentina, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
We're not gonna leave. We leave Argentina like twice in this story.
Okay. Sometimes I don't do geography. Everybody knows that, so I like keep things straight.
So Ava and Peron would leave the gala together at 2 a.m. and were soon established as one of Argentina's leading power couples.
Oh, okay.
The previously political ignorant Ava soon began to sit in on all of her lovers' meetings as the 48-year-old Colonel sought to turn his 24-year-old girlfriend into his political protege.
Wait, how old was he?
48, she was 24. I call that icky.
Ew.
That's so gross. Oh my gosh.
Now, there is a rumor that Juan Perón did have rather an adolescent phase during this era, and that his girlfriend right before an Ava was a 15-year-old girl that he called Piranha, because she liked to bite, that he passed off as his daughter.
Oh my god. That's so icky.
I do want to clarify real quick. I don't have a problem with age gap relationships, as long as it's consensual and between adults.
Yes. Piranha and Perón.
Yeah, 48 and 24, that's a big difference. Like, what do you even talk about at that point? Like,
Right. Like, he's talking about retirement. She's talking about, like...
Well,
going to the club.
Going to the...
Because in the club, we're all fans.
well, no, apparently it was a love match. Like, they were actually really into one another. She was kind of mature for her years. She had a really rough time of it between the impoverished childhood and then when she got to Buenos Aires. Some people said she slept her way to the top. Some people said she just had a lot of boyfriends.
Hey,
Which, I
They
mean...
hate to see women succeed.
right, exactly.
see
I
women
mean,
succeed.
okay, I am...
Exactly.
She is 24. I am 20, going on 28. So I'm only 4 years older than her. And if I've slept with more men than her, then I'm the slut.
We're all whores. It's fine.
Yeah, I think so. You know?
Oh, this was supposed to be the quick part. Oh my god. But there's so much comic stuff here.
Okay, go
Buckle
for it.
down.
Gonna power through.
So, as we said, Peron was like a go-getter, and he was super popular with the workers because at this time, Argentina was going through a transition from agriculture to industry. And those factory workers, dock workers, taxi workers, workers, can you tell I work in an office? Really loved him because he was out there fighting for he was fighting for them, trying to get them rights. However, the military government was like, we have guns and tanks, but there's more of them. We don't like this. So they forced him to resign as vice president on October 10th of 1944, and then arrested him on the 15th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
However, once news got out, possibly at Ava's behest.
Like, she did it?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. She turned in her own boyfriend?
No, like, once the news of him being arrested got out, she might have gone to the unions and been like, hey, did you know Peron got arrested?
Oh, okay. Period.
The country's largest trade union, the Confederación General Trabajadores, or the General Workers Confederation, or CGT, staged a protest of 350,000 people outside the presidential palace, the Casa Rosada, which led to the government shitting its pants, releasing Peron, who they then begged to go out on the balcony to call the crowds and please ask them to go home.
Okay. Here.
That was on October 17th, so 2 days after he was arrested.
Okay.
The following day, Peron and Eva were married in a small ceremony in her hometown of Junín. That same day, he announced he would run for president of Argentina.
Period.
Busy day.
He was like, he's gonna speed run this shit.
Yeah, he was like, okay, I gotta be at the courthouse to, register my candidacy. You know, we'll get married there. We can have a church wedding later.
Wait, he was knuckle deep inside her when he announced that.
Oh my god.
During the campaign, Eva helped her husband both by attending rallies with him and by giving speeches on the radio stations on which she acted. And she was soon nicknamed Evita, or Little, or Dear Eva, by her fans. Peron won the election in a landslide and on June 4th, 1945, took office with Eva at his side as First Lady. But she would not be a usual First Lady. In 1947, she underwent an extended goodwill of Europe on behalf of her husband, writing blank checks to the governments of Spain, Portugal, and France, who were dealing with the aftermath of World War II, and meeting with Pope Pius XII. She established the Eva Peron Foundation, through which she doled out millions of dollars to help the poorest people of Argentina through means such as building schools, hospitals, and either entire communities. People would line up for hours outside the building for a chance to meet with her, and they would go in and go, Evita, I need a house, and she'd be like, okay, here's a deed, here's your house. No questions asked.
Girl, I need that shit. Oh my god.
They'd say, I want to go to university. Okay, here you go. Here's a letter to Buenos Aires University.
Oh my god, the way if they did that.
She actually built, Argentina's version of Disney World before Disney World was a thing.
Huh.
It was called the Children's City, and she, built a little fairy tale castle and all these, rides for kids.
Oh, but it was actually a sweatshop.
No,
Tricking them into child labor.
No, it wasn't.
Smart.
It was not. She was actually I'm not into sweatshops. She was pro-worker.
Oh, period. Good for her.
She was a doll and a diva.
Good.
She took over the day-to-day running of the Department of Labor and Welfare. She was a leading promoter of women's suffrage, and when women were granted the right to vote in 1947, her husband signed the law and handed it to her, symbolically making it her law. She also continued to be one of her husband's key advisors, and her work with the poor, her impassioned speeches to the people about reforms, and her glamour all led her popularity increasing with the people of Argentina, leading them to regarding her as a modern-day saint and keeping her picture next to those of Jesus and the Virgin Mary in their homes.
Oh, okay. Okay. You got a picture for us.
I do.
Okay.
So that is Evita and Juan.
Skinny. Okay.
She is also,
legend.
fun fact, she is the only Argentine First Lady to have a portrait with her husband in the portrait gallery of presidents, because they were painted together.
That's iconic. She said women's rights. I'm here for this. I like her a lot. She is doing so much.
This is her addressing women.
Ooh, period, sis. She's a girl's girl. She's the original girl's girl.
And then Citrus, I know you know this pose.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I too know that pose. From the ABC family comedy special, The Secret Life of the American Teenager.
That's such a throwback. Oh my god.
That shit was wild.
Now, you're probably thinking, where can she go from here? I'll tell you where. In 1951, when her husband was running for re-election, she decided that she was going to campaign for the nomination to be her husband's vice president. Ultimately, this effort failed.
Oh, well, that sucks.
The military literally said, we will overthrow you and kill you both if this happens. And her husband said, yeah, this is going to work because you have some pretty bad health issues. What? Health issues, you say?
Not Miss Ava.
Yes. In 1950, Ava fainted during a public event and had to go emergency surgery to remove her appendix. And it was discovered that she had advanced cervical cancer.
Oh, that sucks.
So she had cervical cancer. Her husband's first wife, because he was married before, remember, he was like 48, also died of cervical cancer. And people think now that he might have been a carrier of HPV, which, if left untreated, can cause cervical cancer. So he might have killed his two first wives.
Oh, okay, yeah. HPV is, like, pretty dangerous. People
Yes.
don't talk about that one that much, but HPV will get you.
Get tested.
Exactly.
Often. There is no stigma.
Be safe.
However, it was announced to the nations that she simply had her appendix removed and that she had anemia.
Blunt?
Anemia blood?
Yes.
My
Anemia was
roommate.
there.
Now here's the kicker.
Love anemia.
She came out of that anesthesia and they said, it's okay, you just have anemia. It was not until after her failed vice presidential candidacy that she had a radical hysterectomy because she didn't know she had cancer. So they were like, you need to have your entire uterus removed. And she was like, no, I want kids. And they were like, no, you gotta have it removed. And she went, no, I want kids. And they were like, for your health. And she's like, I have anemia. Removing that will make me bleed. I want kids.
Oh, no.
But after she turned down the vice presidency, and she actually ended up having to turn it down because the people were like, we want you. And they kind of forced her to, and her husband was like, you gotta turn it down. And she gave this big speech, which kind of led her to being regarded as a saint, all the more that she had to turn it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had the hysterectomy, but it failed to stop the cancer. So she actually became the first Argentine to undergo chemotherapy. But despite this, the cancer returned and continued to spread. She underwent radiation, which was totally botched, and she was just burned alive. So on May 7th, 1952, her 33rd birthday, her husband awarded her the title Spiritual Leader of the Nation.
Wait, why?
Because she was dying.
Okay.
And she couldn't be vice president.
Well, there's plenty of people dying.
It's a
That doesn't
consolation
mean...
prize, but they loved her.
It was definitely participation trophy.
Participation trophy.
You were here.
Fan favorite award.
Fan favorite.
Fan favorite.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
On June 4th, she accompanied her husband to his second inauguration, despite now only waiting weighing 79 pounds, requiring a double dose of pain medication, and a steel brace to hold her upright.
That's crazy.
So this is her on that day, and you
can't even tell. She looks so pretty still.
She does, but you can...
I mean, she's definitely a lot skinnier, but she still looks really good.
I mean, she's gorgeous, but you can definitely tell that she's lost a ton of weight. And she has this huge fur coat on, really hiding how much weight she's lost.
Oh.
And actually, it was
sad.
It was kind of nice because she couldn't be vice president. During the inauguration, the guy elected vice president called in sick. And at the time, the president and vice president sat on these like throne chairs.
Mm-hmm.
And since he called in, because he was sick, she got to sit in the vice president's chair. So she kind of got to be stand-in vice president for a day.
Oh, that's cool. Good for her.
Now, it is believed by some that during this time, her husband authorized without her knowledge her doctors to perform a frontal lobotomy on her to ease the pain of her cancer.
Not a lobotomy. Jesus Christ.
There is no proof. There is no proof, but like a neurosurgeon was like looking at pictures of her and said like, I see like lobotomy scars.
Oh.
But remember, these pictures are like over 70 years old. So like there's no proof. It's just rumor.
Rumor has it.
On July 26, 1952 at 8:25 p.m., Evita Peron died at the presidential residence. Her death was announced over the nation's radio stations. The country was plunged into mourning, with restaurants, movie theaters, etc., all closing down for the duration of the funeral. And if this wasn't enough, like one of the soap operas that she had performed in, the moment she died, her brother, Juancito, because her father was Juan and he was Juan, Juancito means little Juan.
Okay.
Juancito stood at the edge of her bed, lifted his arms, and cried, "There is no God!"
That's so dramatic.
Yeah, this is really a telenovela.
Family of theatrics.
Yeah. Of course, she got him his job, and there are some rumors with some pretty probable evidence that he was skimming a lot of money out of her foundation.
Oh.
And now without her, the president was going to take over, and like the president kept books.
Oh, he couldn't steal her money no more.
Yeah, because she was just like she was like a theater kid. She was like, math, it's fine. So when she was like doling out that cash, she was like, okay, check, not even processing how much it is, how much you need. Mm-hmm. And he's like he's the one processing the checks. Like he's like, okay, like this is $30, $20 to foundation, $10 to me. Normally, this is where a person's story's end, but we're just getting started, baby.
Oh shit.
You're so hyped right now.
I know.
You're on like 10, DJ. That's
This
crazy.
is a what the fuck story, and I'm here for it.
Okay.
I've been living with this for 3 weeks. I've been having dreams about dancing corpses. Now, Ava died at 8:25 p.m. Within minutes, her husband and his aides demanded that her mother, sisters, and brother all leave the room. You gotta leave. Get out. Because waiting outside was Dr. Pedro Ara, whom the president had approached months before. Ara was a famed Spanish embalmer whose work was known as the art of death. He was so confident in his abilities that he carried around the preserved head of a peasant in his briefcase, which he would whip out to show people when they doubted him.
Oh my gosh. I
That's
guess
actually kind of wild.
Right?
Yeah.
Girl, he kept that motherfucking thing on him. His head game was strong.
Not just
Yeah,
Pull
that's
out game
Well,
strong. He pulls the
he
head.
is gonna
Pull out game strong too.
pull out game strong too.
Now,
yes.
he is going to prove that he has more than head game and more than pull-up game. He has body, yaddy, yaddy, yaddy. Because Peron hired Ara to embalm the body of his wife, which would then be displayed in a memorial which would dwarf the Statue of Liberty, for the measly sum of $100,000 in 1952 money, which is probably like $1 million today.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
So that is the memorial that they were going to build her. That is the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, Jesus.
Who said size doesn't matter?
That bitch was gonna be
My God.
big.
Who said size doesn't matter?
Oh, honey.
Ara got in there, like his mother, or her mother, his sisters are still crying out in the hallway. And she's like, let's get to work. And he wanted to save the corpse from the ravages before the decomposition set in.
Yeah.
However, he stated that he was very disappointed in the state of the body, which was absolutely ravaged by the cancer and by the mishandled radiation treatments. And he stated that he had wished he had been given the body prior to death to begin preserving it.
Oh, how would he even do that? Like, pump her full of, like, chemicals and shit?
Yeah. Or, you know, like, we're going to stop the chemo now and just, like...
Let you die. Sorry, sweetheart. We want you to look pretty when you're dead.
Crazy. Oh my god.
Now, Ara had only hours to take the body of Eva and restore it to the full beauty and glamour of Evita. Now, unlike... you look so scared.
No.
Wait, because I did my little gesture?
No, it's fine. You can keep going.
Unlike other embalmers, he did not remove her organs. He left them intact.
He slept with them. He kept them in his bed.
We'll get into that.
Wait, I was just joking. What do you mean?
Oh
we'll get
god. Oh my
Pause.
god. Oh my god.
So he began by making 2 small incisions, one on the back of her neck. Wait, did I get the trigger warnings at the beginning of this?
We gotta...
Trigger warnings. This episode contains descriptions of the embalming process, political violence, desecration of a corpse, and necrophilia.
Girl, Citrus didn't even know. I didn't know all that. Citrus is like, y'all invited me here for this?
I was like, oh my god. Well, I mean, I didn't even know what the topic was.
Yeah,
so
no.
I was going in blind.
Yeah. You're okay with pictures of dead bodies, right?
That's so crazy. Work.
Okay. Cool. I wanted to ask you when you were on. I waited till you were on there to make sure you couldn't
You
leave.
do follow my Instagram, so you're used to pictures of dead bodies.
So, he made 2 small incisions, one on the back of the neck and one on her heel, to drain her body of blood. He then injected the body with pure alcohol to absorb any water out of her tissue and organs. He then pumped the alcohol out and replaced it with glycerin, which had been heated to 140 degrees, which would fill the corpse out and give it a lifelike appearance.
Okay.
The following morning, Ara recorded in his journal that Evita Peron was completely and definitively incorruptible.
Okay.
He then unlocked the door to allow her hairdresser, Julio Acaraz, who originally dyed her hair from brunette to platinum blonde, to come in to freshly dye her hair and set it into its iconic chignon. Her dressmaker brought in a specially made ivory satin gown. Her manicurist stripped the bright red nail polish she had favored in life off and replaced it with clear color
Nail polish?
Yes.
Like shiny.
And this was actually Ava's last request to her.
Oh. She didn't want the nail polish?
No, she said that it would be unseemly for her to go into heaven with bright red nail polish and that she wanted something natural.
Oh, she wanted that natural look. That's why they dyed her hair blonde.
And
Natural.
Yeah. No roots! No roots! Lastly, a mother of pearl rosary she had received from the Pope was wrapped around her hands. The body was then placed in a specially built $30,000 glass-topped coffin and taken in procession to the Department of Labor building where it laid in state.
Okay. And that's what you...
That is the glass coffin.
She looks good. She looks pretty. She got the good old treatment. Okay, I hope I look like that.
Oh, it's and she's glowing.
Literally, it's crazy. She looks better than I do right now, and she's dead. That's crazy
okay, so
about her.
I have a video
Okay.
just to give you an idea of the size of the funeral. So those are all people marching behind the casket on both sides of the road.
There has to be at least 12 people there.
There are definitely at least 12.
There's at least 13. What you mean?
Right, at least.
At
Like,
least.
13 if you count the body.
Oh.
Too soon. It's only been 70 years.
Spooky.
Oh, pause. Now, during this procession, 8 people were crushed to death as they thronged to be close to her.
8? You know, we all
I should have saved the wine pour for that.
Honestly.
Oh no, there are other parts where you could just pour. Just do a little pour every time I say something where you don't have a response.
That's crazy that 8 people died.
Oh, just wait, because within 24 hours, over 2,000 people were being treated in Buenos Aires hospitals for injuries sustained in trying to get near her. In all, between July 27th and August 9th, 16 people would die from either injuries sustained or heart attacks upon seeing her dead body.
I can't even get a text back. People are throwing themselves at those bitches.
That's crazy.
In that period, 65,000 people filed past her coffin a day.
You said how many?
65,000 people a day.
Okay.
Many of them kissing the coffin.
Ooh.
What's better? Some cultures, like, you're supposed to kiss the body. Like in Russian culture, you have to kiss the person's forehead in the coffin. No, all that kissing causes heat. And heat causes condensation, which happened on the inside of the glass lid. Now, despite Dr. Ara's strict orders that the coffin must remain sealed or else the body will begin to decompose because it was not as definitively incorruptible as he said, an attendant began to open the coffin and wipe the inside of the glass every time it started to steam up.
Oh. Honey girl's gonna decompose.
On August 9th, the body was taken in procession from the Department of Labor to the Congress building where they had a mass, a full state mass, only owed to the president of the nation. Mm-hmm. She was not the president, but they gave it to her.
Period.
And then taken to the headquarters of the CGT. That's the large labor union again. Mm-hmm. Where it was returned to Dr. Ara's care until her huge tomb was complete. In the days following her death, the Vatican was flooded with as many as 10,000 letters from Argentines demanding the Pope make Eva a saint. They politely declined.
Damn, they did our girl dirty.
They said, we need a miracle. And behind the backs, they were like, that girl was a bastard.
No, they did. Why? She was so nice.
She was literally a bastard by the definition of the word.
Oh, that's why they wouldn't make her a saint, because she was born out of wedlock?
Yeah, and she also slept her way to the top.
Hey.
Allegedly. They
Allegedly.
see women
You know what?
successful.
She was a man who liked boyfriends.
Exactly.
Yes, women can have hobbies.
You know what? Apparently, on the last day of her life, her hairdresser overheard her talking to her mother. And she said to her mother, you wanted to marry me off to one of the men in Union, and I would never have been happy. I've never been happy in my life until I met my husband. And it's like, if you had married me off to one of those boring men, that would have been my death date. But I love my husband. He's the love of my life. And I can die because I had 6 happy years with him.
Oh, that's giving Heartstopper.
Oh,
that's actually really cute.
I love Heartstopper.
Me too. Did you watch the new season?
I did watch it.
Oh, wasn't it so
all
good?
in one day. I cried so many times.
Me too.
Same.
Oh, it was so good.
Wait,
it was so good.
Not to embarrass you, because I'm going to embarrass myself. How many times did you cry through this season?
I think like there were 3 solid.
Oh, I cried 18 times.
That's so valid.
I counted. No.
Were you counting like the time where it was like, I feel like I could cry? My eyes were like welling up a little bit? Or like when I actually did cry?
I'm counting every time that a tear like started to fall out of my eye. There were only 3 times where it actually like started like...
Oh, it's only 3 for like actual crying, but like, well...
3 sobs
a lot. Anytime there was like a little like tender moment between the characters, like whether it was like the romantic or like the platonic.
Yes.
Little moments where I was like,
why can't I have that?
I would say one of my cry moments was whenever Charlie's mom apologized for being black.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh, that was my cry moment. I was like, that's
Anyways,
but
back
Eva.
to Eva.
Back to death.
So, Ara was absolutely furious that his orders hadn't been followed and lamented that the corpse was in terrible state. He continued his treatments on the body, subjecting it to daily chemical baths, glycerin treatments, injections of wax, and finally covering it in a thin layer of plastic.
Oh, okay.
After a year of daily work, the body was totally and completely preserved and placed in a special triangular glass coffin in a chapel built on the 2nd floor of the CGT building.
And that's the agriculture building? The labor building.
Union. So that is Ara with the corpse. And you can see the glass coffin.
That looks like a ghost. Like
no,
a
that's his
skull.
reflection.
Oh, that's his reflection.
And the glass, it's glass.
Okay.
So, and you can see the outline of the coffin, like where the seams are.
Okay.
And here's him just kindly manhandling her head to make sure it's in the right position. No, literally, he's...
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you just gotta take a fistful of that hair and get them where you need to go.
Oh, we just...
If you can't tell, he liked taking pictures with her.
I mean, why not? You know, she's a pretty lady.
He was like, hey, fire up that camera.
Right.
He's like, you better get that camera set.
This shit's going on the Insta.
Oh, we'll just run through all the pictures now. So, she was buried in a nightgown.
Okay.
And then they put a special satin tunic over top of it. So that's the nightgown.
So they did actually bury her, like, underground.
Bury.
Quotation marks.
She had fresh flowers daily.
Oh, that's so nice. I wish I had fresh flowers. My flowers, unfortunately, wilted.
Oh.
More flowers.
Pretty. That's cool. I wish it was in color.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
We'll come back to that.
Oh.
We'll come back to that.
And
Sneak peek.
Now are the YouTube audiences seeing these visuals?
Yes, they are.
yes.
In the top corner. Okay.
I put them on the screen for
Okay,
sure.
so we just got a sneak peek.
Yeah. They're not going to get a sneak peek. You're going to get a sneak peek. And the poor. Ara allowed no one to see the body except for the president, who visited 3 times.
3. And you know what happened those 3 times.
Her mother and sisters who had come to pray. They all noted that he would always hover very near the body. Julio Alcaraz, her hairdresser, was asked to come 3 different times to redo her hair because Ara claimed that his procedures messed it up.
I think I know what you're getting at, girl.
Rumors abounded throughout the government that he was obsessed with the corpse or had even fallen in love with it.
Oh.
Meanwhile, things were not going well for President turns out that, like, he had a secret weapon, and that was Evita. Mm-hmm. The economy tanked. Inflation was through the roof. The wealthy and landowners hated him. The Catholic Church got really mad at him for legalizing divorce and prostitution and taking schools away from them. Because the Catholic Church used to run schooling, and then he was like, now we're going to do state schooling. Like public schools.
Right. Love a good public school.
So, in September 1955, a group of radical Catholic generals launched a coup against Peron. Peron, despite having the majority of average Argentines on his side, was simply tired of fighting. This was the 3rd uprising against him in 4 years. And so he decided, I just want to be father of my nation. I don't want to have to work for it. I'm going to Paraguay.
Is Paraguay a real place?
Yeah.
Or is that like a joke?
I think it's real.
It's real. And then he
I
went
think
to
that's
Panama.
for geography. I almost said
If it helps, he ended up in Panama.
Panama, okay. And I'm 80% sure that one's real, guys.
Now, prior to leaving, he did pay Ara the $100,000 owed to him for the embalming and sent him a lovely note saying, I'll call you later for the body. He left without his wife. Granted, she's dead, but he left without his wife.
Bitch is dead.
I just left her.
Now, Ara is left with the body of a woman who's revered as a saint by the people and reviled by the new government, who called her alternatively that woman or the bitch.
That's so awful. She did so many good things.
They literally passed a law that you were not allowed to say her name.
Really?
Yes.
That's so crazy. Again, they hate to see women succeed.
Exactly.
Well, they also said that about him, but like he was actually president.
Ooh.
Now, Ara met with Ava's mother, Donna Juana, and convinced her to sign a legal document granting him guardianship over the body.
Okay.
Now, days later, Donna Juana showed up at the CGT and she said, I changed my mind. I want the body. I want to give it a proper burial. That's what she wanted. Mm-hmm. So he said, I want you to come into my office. And he showed her the real body in a special glass coffin. along with 3 copies made by an Italian sculptor, which he had arranged in various poses around his office.
Girl, what the fuck is going on in here on this day?
Yeah,
That's
apparently
some serial killer shit.
One was, we're gonna have to open the new bottle soon. Oh yeah,
I'm sorry.
we had a second bottle because like this one.
We'll keep it going. We see here at Crips and Corks LLC at large, we keep the drinks a flowing. Period.
I'll give you that.
Girl.
We're gonna take a pause after
We're
that.
gonna take a pause.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna describe.
What do you mean?
I can't remember all 3 of the poses, but one of them.
It's like maybe like with your French girl, or it's like.
So one of them was propped up in a chair with a postcard in her hand, and her head was down like she was reading the postcard.
I have
That's so
questions, but mostly concerns.
So he told Donna Juana
Same.
that he planned to give the government one of the copies, keep the real one, but
He was gonna keep the body?
yes, and he's telling her mother, who's demanding the body. He said, "I'm going to give the army a copy. I'll give you a copy to bury to make you feel good, but I'm going to keep the real one because it is too precious. I'm the only one who can take care of it."
Oh, he's gonna plow that corpse.
Her response, and I quote, this is an actual quote, "Go to hell."
Simple and point.
I mean,
yeah.
Another
Straight
thing
to the point,
So,
I mean.
so another thing that Dr. Ara did was he kept saying, "Yeah, it's done," and then some people are like, "Okay, let's take it," and he'd be like, "No, it's not done. I'm not done with it. Like, it needs one more treatment, just one more. I swear, just one more."
And we know what kind of treatments he was doing, honey girl.
Is that where we're going? Is that where this is going?
The new government was led by General Aramburu, and this government was totally preoccupied to do with the body. As I mentioned before, they wanted to erase all memory of Peron and Evita throughout the country. In fact, so Eva and Peron had a bunch of like statues of themselves made, and the government destroyed them all and threw them in the Rio de Plata, which is the river running through Buenos Aires.
Oh.
And there's a rumor amongst Peronists, which is what her husband's party is called, that one day all of the busts of Evita are going to flow into the harbor and rise up to form one large statue, and she's going to return to the people.
That sounds crazy.
As you can tell, we are getting farther away from history and more into myth.
Yeah,
but-
delusion.
I didn't say I believed it. I just said this is what's said. Now, the government was super fearful that the workers, because she was in the Union building, were going to steal the body and use it to inspire an uprising to restore Peron, specifically by putting it on this big barge covered with flowers and candles and sailing it down the river so that everyone would see it and think that she had returned and just rise up.
So they were like basically trying to.
They were like, okay, we overthrew this guy. How do we not get overthrown ourselves? So some people said, let's burn it. Other people said, no, let's sink it in the Rio de Plata. The president said, nope, we are a Catholic government. She was a Catholic woman. She died in full grace of the church. She's going to have a full, proper Christian burial.
Okay.
He charged Colonel Eduardo Mori Koenig, the chief of Army Intelligence, with taking care of that woman's body. Koenig went to the CGT and met with Ara and informed him that he would be taking the corpse after saying, it's really beautiful. It's actually like a work of art. It should not be buried. It should be put in a museum, at least according to Ara's book.
This is a lot to follow.
Now, Koenig did note that the body looked waxy and did not believe that it was real because he knocked on it and it sounded hollow like a store mannequin. And he actually cut off part of her ear to x-ray to prove that it was her. Or one of her fingers.
Ooh.
Ara says that it was part of her ear. Most stories say that it was one of her fingers.
Okay.
Which Ara did say that the only difference from the outside between the copies and the real body was an x-ray because she was totally intact inside.
Okay.
Oh.
I wish I was.
So Mori Koenig took charge of the real corpse and planned to...
You moved Passed that so fast.
DJ's learned.
I wasn't ready to move on. I was still there with you.
Thank you. DJ's learned to move past my jokes.
I just want to be a real girl, Daddy.
Anyways,
We'll work it out on the remix. You into Brett Summer? You know about Charlie?
I've dabbled. I've heard of it.
Do you celebrate?
I do celebrate. Do you celebrate Brett Summer?
Yeah.
All right.
Fully celebrated.
So, Maury Koenig planned to bury it in Chacarita Cemetery in Buenos Aires. However, the welder who was to seal the coffin shut did not come, so Koenig drove the truck to a quiet side street and parked it overnight and slept in the back of the truck to make sure it wasn't tampered with. When he woke up, he found a small shrine outside of the truck made up of flowers and candles and pictures of Evita. Now, this was a state secret. Nobody knew that they were moving the body, where they were moving it to.
Okay, so somehow someone found out that she was in that truck and made the shrine, but
Yes.
no one knew about it. And, probably no one knew he was going to stop there either.
Yes.
That's so crazy.
And when you're the chief of Army Intelligence, and nobody knows this, and then you find that you think, we have a leak.
Yes, there's an insider. There's a rat.
Now, for over a week, he moved the body to various abandoned buildings, unused parking lots, and army bases around the city, and each morning would find these little shrines. Once, he arrived at one of these parking spaces to find a shrine already there, and he would just randomly picked it. He's like driving around, he's like, you know what? We're near General Lopez Street. We're going to go there. And he pulls up there and there's just a shrine waiting there. And he decided, out of nowhere.
That's so weird. How would they know if he just, decides?
Sounds like some spooky shit is happening. Is this the spooky portion?
We're getting into it.
Ooh.
Next, he moved the truck to just outside of Army Intelligence, right underneath his window so he could watch to make sure nobody tampered with it and none of these shrines appeared. Another shrine appeared.
Oh, that's crazy.
Could you imagine just sitting there watching and blinking your eyes? What?
That would be crazy. Okay, the shrines appearing out of nowhere is kind of crazy.
Koenig then he had 3 junior officers with him who were helping him this, and they knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. So he had one of them, a Major Aranciba, also known as El Loco. We all know what that means.
That's me in the club.
They
Call me El Loco.
They had Major El Loco store her in his attic.
If there's a shrine
And
in
is
that
there a fucking shrine?
There's no shrine.
Okay,
Oh.
good, okay.
However, the Major believed the corpse was alive and fell in love with it.
What is wrong with these people?
they're followed.
What is wrong with these people?
He would lock himself in the attic for hours reading love poems to it and fondling it.
Not fondling it.
One night he returned.
I had to look right. I'm looking right in the camera. I was like,
we can take a moment.
I have to marinate on that information. Work. Okay, what's next?
Now, one night he returned home and heard a move in the attic and raced up there to see the corpse running at him, and he shot it 3 times. Only then did he turn the lights on to discover... Did you jump at the trash can?
I'm sorry, they didn't see that, but we...
The trash can. It's happened to me too.
I'll cut it, don't worry.
Oh my god, she's here. Ava. Diva, hey.
Okay, this is a little early, but a lot of the people who were involved in the hiding of the corpse said there was a curse. Anyone who was involved with the story, misfortune would follow. And even people who have told the story have had the curse fallen on them.
Kind of like how we're telling the story right now.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We're cursed.
And I've heard from some Evita fans on YouTube that her spirit is active.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe she's visiting. She died at 33. Wouldn't you be active?
Yeah.
Well, I'm so confused.
Her ghost comes around a lot.
Where?
Anywhere.
Oh, so she's mobile.
Yeah,
she's a girl
she's
on the
mobile.
go.
She's a girl on the go. Oh my god.
She's a trendsetter. Okay, mobile. We love
She
a
comes
mobile.
to visit true and faithful Peronistas.
Is like that like a Maxinista?
No,
Like
that's
TJ Maxx?
her husband's followers.
Oh.
Their name is Peron. Peronist.
Peronista. Like,
Yeah.
almost sounds like pierogi.
I was thinking that.
No,
Bitch, I love a pierogi.
I love pierogies.
Get me at a pierogi. The fuck?
Okay.
What y'all know about pierogi lifestyle?
So he shoots 3 times. Only then did he decide, let's turn the lights on. And he discovered that he had actually shot his pregnant wife who had found the body. The army covered up, saying that he mistook his wife for a burglar and moved the corpse. They moved it to behind the movie screen of the Rialto movie theater in Buenos Aires. And they all had a good chuckle that she was returning to her days on the stage.
That feels weird.
That
feels weird.
him shooting his wife, that's
Pregnant
crazy. Oh my god.
Pregnant wife.
Did she die?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's a major in the army. Did you really think he wasn't shooting to kill?
And then they were just like, LOL, on to the next place. Moving
They were like,
forwards.
anyways.
Well, no, they arrested
moving swiftly
They
along.
arrested him. Like they definitely like arrest him, but it was like, oh, you know, like he was known as like a loco, so it's like, oh, you know, like he walked in, thought it was a burglar, just started firing.
That's just a loco.
That's typical loco.
LOL.
Oh.
Now the thing about it gets moved to the movie theater. They all have a chuckle. She's coming back to the movies. The thing is, the projectionist, because this is when there were projectors, had a daughter, and he told the daughter that it was the theater owner's a present from the theater owner to his granddaughter. It was a doll for Christmas. Don't touch it. She did touch it, like not in a weird way. She would sit back there, and they put her in a steamer trunk, like a really long trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd sit there with the box open, and she would sit next to it, and she would describe the movies, and she called it her dolly. Because she didn't know. She was like 7.
I don't like, that's weird.
Her father said it was a doll, and like she just would sit and she would like be like, this is what's going on in the movie. But after a month of this going on, one day the projectionist went back there and found the coffin surrounded by candles and flowers, and they moved it again.
There's a lot happening here, sister.
So Maury Koenig, then moved the body back to Army Intelligence, but this time inside, and he put it in the office of a colleague who was away on holiday. However, the colleague came back early to find that woman laying on his desk and...
Why aren't they just burying her? Just let her be a piece. Why do we have to keep moving her?
So Koenig then moved her back outside into the truck outside his window. Another shrine appeared. And he started getting threats.
That was just me.
They came in the form of notes and phone calls to his home. And they threatened that they would cut off his balls, they would cut off his wife's nipples, they would poison his daughter's milks, and that they would blow up his home. They only went through with one of these, and it was blowing up his home, which they...
Yeah, just the one. Just
Well, I mean, if you're blowing up the house, do you really have to do the rest? It just seems like
right.
overkill.
They just fucked his entire life. Like,
And the resulting explosion injured his daughter and his wife, who were home at the time. He was at the office watching Ava. At the time this explosion went off, there was a religious procession throughout the city, and after the procession left, there was a shrine there, but nobody stopped. So how did the shrine appear? So he totally freaked out. He was totally obsessed with the body. He was in love with it, so he demanded that the body be brought inside to his office, where he locked himself inside and began to shout, curse, and berate it for refusing to return his love and for trying to escape. I'll give you a minute to process.
Maybe he was just like really like mentally unwell, and he was the one setting up the shrines, but he didn't remember it.
It could be.
I
Now,
think.
I did hear from one source that before he was chief of Army Intelligence, he was actually like her military aide, so he did know her in life. So this could have been some like residual stuff.
Okay.
So he's like, why won't you love me? Why are you trying to escape? And then he ripped the door to his office open, ordered the 2 soldiers outside to come in, and ordered them to pee on her, saying, I am going to tame her like the common bitch she is and show her place.
Oh!
Where's the wine?
Oh!
Hey, that sounds like another wine pour.
Oh!
Jesus.
She came from that way. Okay. I wasn't prepared for this.
Needless to say, the government found out and removed Morricone from his role as army intelligence, and he had to flee to Germany where his family had property. Once he was safely in Germany, he actually threatened the government that he would expose everything that happened to the body if it was not returned to him. They gave him a copy.
And when he got inside that copy, he said, this doesn't feel like her. He was deep inside her. He was like, oh!
Well, actually, he buried her. So apparently he buried her so that no one else could have her and then lost it.
Oh.
He forgot where he buried her.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit. He's like, oh shit, put a tombstone up. Where is the body?
God damn.
So the government had absolutely enough of Evita in her body and wanted her gone for goodsies this time. So they reached out to the Vatican and they said, please, Your Holiness, help us. What do we do? How do we properly get rid of this problem? The Vatican sent an Italian priest who took the body and left the country. A few months later, he returned and gave a sealed envelope with the final resting place to President Aramburu. Aramburu gave this sealed envelope to his lawyers and said, only give this to my successor as president of the nation a month after I die.
Okay.
Now, Evita is gone, but she was not dead.
Well, she was
But she's been
she was
dead.
like dead though. But like
Not politically.
not okay.
Not
But
politically.
When you say it like that, that's different.
She had some
I'm
brain
trying to tell a
juice.
story here.
Oh, sorry.
Let me shut the fuck up. Just the fuck out of me.
I was like, sorry. We were like.
So yes, she is. Physically she is dead, but spiritually she is not.
Oh.
As the political turmoil of the 1960s took hold in Argentina, young protesters turned to Evita as an icon of fighting for their rights, just like their parents had revered her as a saint. Graffiti began to show up around Buenos Aires, declaring, Evita viva, or Evita lives. They would chant, I can feel her, Evita is here.
That's
at rallies.
what the Koenig was saying in his office.
Yeah, not really what he'd be saying.
I can feel her.
He felt
Don't forget about Major Loco.
Oh, and
he felt her in a very different way, though. A way.
Oh.
Now, in 1970, former President Aramburu was kidnapped and murdered by Peronists in retaliation for hiding Evita's body and not saying where it was.
Okay.
Well, now a month after that. Now it's a lot sooner than
So
he had a plan for his successor.
So the government said, okay, give us the envelope because we need Peron's help. It's been a decade and a half, but we need his help because things are not going well.
Yes.
They opened the envelope, and it revealed that Evita was buried in Milan,
Wait,
Italy.
Italy. Okay. I always get confused because then I think about Milan, the Disney movie, and I'm like, wow.
That's Mulan.
Yeah. Let's see. I always
Mulan
think Mulan is Asia, but
Milan is Italian.
Milan. Milan.
yeah, I always
Sorry.
get confused.
In 1971, an Argentine soldier secretly flew to Milan to look for the priest and found that he was dead.
I hate when that happens.
He then
Happened
went.
this morning.
Happens the best way.
He then went to Muscusco Cemetery in Milan, presented himself as an Italian man named Carlo, and said, "Do you have any Argentine people buried here?" And they said, no, the closest we have is this woman named Maria Magi Magistris, who was an Italian woman who married an Italian who married an Argentine man and died there. But then her family had her shipped back here to be buried because she was born here. And he said, "Oh, I'm her brother." And it was our dead mother's last wish to be buried. For her to be buried next to her in Madrid. So they said, okay. Dug her up and transported her to Madrid in Spain, where Peron was living with his third wife, Isabel. The two were waiting to receive the body with Dr. Frankenstein. I mean Dr. Ara.
Oh,
he's still kicking.
He's spooky.
Okay. This is crazy, girl.
They opened the coffin, and a sweet, perfumey smell filled the room, and Peron whispered, "It is her. It is Evita."
She's here.
They're here. But she didn't crawl out of a TV screen.
I don't think that was The Grudge, was that?
No.
Yeah, and
wait,
both.
wait, I thought it was Poltergeist. Evita! She's here!
Jeez. The trash
I
can
wish
did
there
every-
was like a camera pointing at the trash can that is
We
open.
need the cam right there.
The candid cam.
Oh god. Please no.
Despite Dr. R's very worst fears and years of mistreatment and constant moving, Evita was surprisingly intact. Her hair was damp and messed up. The hairpins that were placed in her hair had rusted away. The bottoms of her feet were damaged from being stood up on them at one point. And her nose was smashed down from either a hammer or the lid of a coffin. And she had a couple cuts and other incisions on her face, either from like the lid or from like falling debris.
Okay.
So that was her when they... But not bad for being dead for like...
No, she don't look too bad, girl.
For being dead for nearly 15 years.
Oh.
I mean, the nose.
Nose.
But, like, the rest of the face.
Yeah.
Those lashes, girl. She's got those 301s.
Lashes for
She got the
days.
one lashes hot.
So, Ara specifically came out of retirement to treat the body and restore it to its former glory while Isabel began to brush and set Ava's hair.
Okay.
The new wife is brushing the old wife's hair.
I don't want to say that's weird.
It's not weird.
It's not weird.
It's a little weird.
Is it about to be weird?
Yes, because Juan and Isabel really wanted to keep Evita close to make sure she was safe. So they moved her into the dining room.
Oh.
Are they gonna eat her?
No, they had the dining room table, and then they had a special platform where she was on the table, and it'd just be like, "Isn't the steak excellent? Isabel, you really outdone yourself. Don't you think, Ava?"
That's insane shit.
I don't know if they
That's
actually talk to her like
crazy,
that, but
girl.
like it'd be like, like this chicken tastes different. What did you do with it, like Isabel? I put saffron in it. It's excellent, Ava. Excuse me? I said it's excellent, Isabel.
This is crazy. That's weird.
Yeah.
Now, if that wasn't weird enough,
They have threesome.
Isabel had two hobbies.
Sorry, oh my god.
I missed it. What did you say?
She said they're eating dinner and then they're eating
I said
something else.
They had threesome with the body. You did leave the second one, the first one or the second one out. One of those.
So, Isabel had two hobbies. Eating honey. I don't know. I just heard it. I gotta repeat it.
Just like eating honey.
Yeah. She thought it was good for your health.
That's not a hobby. That's just like a...
They were like, what are your
Fine.
favorite things to do, Isabel?
Fine.
Honey.
Okay, it doesn't matter because the second thing was she had a passion for the occult.
Oh shit.
Okay.
She was kind of So Juan Perón was banned from entering Argentina, so she is acting as her husband's go-between between the government of Argentina and him. And on one of these trips, she picked up a former policeman and self-proclaimed occultist priest named Jose Lopez Rega, who she hired as her assistant. And at night, Rega would lead rituals to infuse Isabel with the spirit of Evita by lighting candles, reciting incantations. He would do that, while Isabel would climb into the coffin with her husband's previous wife's body.
Okay.
I don't know how to.
Oh!
Which
so
one?
she was just laying up with
It would just
her
be
looking
like-
like that.
Excuse me. Do you mind if I get in here? Can I have your spirit?
Crazy.
Can I have your spirit, please?
She's like, please, blink.
God, I wish that was her.
Can I have your spirit, please?
You know that Olivia Rodrigo song that's I'm so obsessed with your ex?
That's the one.
Very that.
That's the one.
That is, yeah.
Now this
She
one,
wanted to be her so
this went
bad.
on for about This went on for about a year and a half, and then it is about return to Argentina, where Juan was promptly elected president for the third time.
Period. Good for Juan.
Dreams do come true. You look so disgusted.
Not my dream.
This is just cuckoo Kachu.
I was waiting for Cuckoo Kachu.
It's bad. And then that's... Mama, that's crazy. The third time?
Yeah, so remember he got elected in 1946.
Then re-elected.
And then 52. His term got interrupted by the coup.
And then he
when
said...
that happens.
He's like the girls that come back to Drag Race for the third time. They're like, guess what, bitches, I'm back!
You know, I didn't make it on my season, and I didn't make it on All Stars, but maybe UK versus the world is my time!
Oh my god. Yeah.
Now,
probably.
they did take Lopez Rega with them, and he was appointed as Secretary of Social Security and Welfare.
Okay.
And ended up becoming a powerhouse in the government because he claimed to be the only person keeping the 78-year-old Peron alive. Through magic.
Oh. Oh my.
Yeah.
Magic.
He actually claimed that before... So, when Peron was coming back to Argentina, there were two factions of his supporters. One were left-wings like liberal Democrats in American politics. The other ones were socialists. And they got into a fight, and Lopez Rega actually organized for shots to be fired at the socialists, which started an entire massacre, and the plane had to be diverted from one airport to another, and it stressed Peron out, and he had a heart attack as they were landing. And he actually claimed that Peron died, and he magically resuscitated him. And that he was the only thing keeping Peron alive. Meanwhile, in Brazil, he was selling rejuvenation potion with Juan Peron's face on it, saying that he made this potion that Juan Peron was drinking to keep him alive, but actually Juan Peron was just dyeing his hair black.
Oh.
He had that Rogaine.
Yes.
So he ran through that $100,000 he got initially, and he was like, how am I going to set myself up for the rest of my life?
No, you're thinking of Ara. Ara's dead by this point.
Oh no, who's this?
This is the assistant.
Oh my god.
The one who is like, let me light candles while you crawl into your husband's last wife's coffin.
Oh, this is a different one. My mind went straight to Ara.
That's
No.
crazy.
What happened to
Ara
Ara?
restored the body and then he died.
Oh, and they just...
Yeah, he was old. He was like senior. He was like 60 when he like preserved Evita the first time. He came out of retirement to do it the second time.
Oh, so he made no noise when he died. He just wasn't important.
He wrote a book.
Well, he was still alive when he published the book.
Yeah, I don't know when he died because his Wikipedia page is in Spanish and I don't speak Spanish.
Oh, Google Translate.
But
I don't know now. Actually, I'm gonna Google it later.
Come on, Wikipedia.
Oh wait, I got a picture. So
What the fuck?
That's them restoring the body.
Oh, and they fixed your nose?
Yeah, they
She
fixed her
looks
nose.
sunburnt as fuck.
I think that's just the camera.
It probably is, but she looks hella sunburnt.
Oh, and then that's fully restored.
Okay, she looks good there. They gave her the good old nose
You
job.
did a good job. She got a fierce nose job.
Okay,
I have
so
one of them.
Peron, back in Argentina, took his wife with him, took the wife's assistant, made him a cabinet secretary. Do you know what they did not take with them?
The body.
They left Evita back in the dining room.
They spent so much energy on this fucking body and they just left it in the dining room.
They left her in the dining room?
They left her in the dining room.
Bitch.
Who's gonna brush her hair?
Oh, he's gonna flick her LL Bean.
Oh. Oh.
Was that one a little too far? Did I go a little too far bringing up the LL Bean catalog?
8 months into his
Like, anyways,
8 months into his third term as president of Argentina, Juan Peron died and was succeeded by his vice president and wife, Isabel Peron. She's literally living Evita's wet dream.
do you think maybe like the little like she was successful in her?
Well, I'll tell you this. Shortly after Peron died, do you remember President Aramburu? The one who like ordered her body hidden and then got kidnapped and murdered because they hid her body?
Yeah.
His body got dug up and held for ransom. The government said, President Peron, the second, we want Evita back. And so she said she's coming back, don't worry. And requested the body of Evita be returned to Argentina at last. But remember I talked about the curse of those who disturb her rest was just getting started.
Oh, okay.
As the coffin was being transported from Madrid to the airport, the two guards who were transporting the body got into a fight over a gambling debt and actually started to shoot each other. This caused the truck that they were in to crash and catch on fire, killing them both, but leaving the coffin mysteriously unscratched.
There's a lot happening here.
When the body arrived in Argentina, it was placed in a hearse in another truck with two ceremonial soldiers. The truck was in a crash due to a rainstorm, and when they went to check on the coffin, they found the soldiers had accidentally cut each other's throats with their bayonets and had bled to death at the foot of the coffin.
How do you actually like, oops.
So
Like,
okay,
how does that happen?
So we're you and I are sitting there, and we've got our bayonets.
Yeah.
And it crashes, and
But
the bayonet's the knife at the end of the.
yeah. But
And so as I go into you, and yours could go into me.
I don't know how that would happen.
It's a good story.
It's a
Roll
good-
with it.
It's a good. I was like, but if the truck goes this way, magic.
Also, it could have been like, let's say this is if it stopped, and you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was probably more
Okay,
accurate.
that's probably. I was like, but it's side to side. How does that? But front. To
Most people say like it was like that. If it slid off the road, you would go like that. So I don't know. I wasn't there.
Same.
I was just a twinkle in my parents' eye. Wait, were my parents alive were there? This
Or a speck of dust.
or
Yeah.
both my parents had astigmatism. I could have been their astigmatism.
Oh, okay. Wait,
Anyways,
keep going.
despite the curse, Evita laid in state beside her husband, who specifically asked not to be embalmed. She was embalmed. And what happened to her?
She died. Is she already dead?
That's when you preserve the body.
Yeah.
Oh,
What happened to her corpse?
Bitch, I don't know. I lost track. I don't know. You have to tell me.
This entire story happened to her corpse. So he said, yeah, I'm not going for that.
Okay, period. Okay.
But she got to lay in state with her husband.
Girl, you can't even tell that's fucking him. You just, yeah.
Yeah, because he
Was
didn't
he
get embalmed.
Was he cremated?
No, like he didn't get preserved.
Oh.
They got him dressed and they put him in the casket and said, okay, bye-bye.
Okay, period. Okay.
That's so valid. I mean, after everything that Eva's body's been through.
After the funeral, their coffins were moved to the presidential residence to wait for grand memorial to be called the Altar of the Fatherland to be erected in their memory.
Erect. I'm erect. Usually at the DMV, though.
You gotta stop thinking about the body that way, Paul.
Alright, well, let's...
Now,
You're like, what's the next?
in
what's the next?
1976,
Right.
the government of Isabel Peron collapsed. Isn't it shocking that Lopez Vega wasn't magical after all?
Very shocking.
In fact, he was the first to go. The military said, he's got to go. We're going to kill him. And she said, he is now our ambassador to Spain. And he left, and then 2 months later, they were like, Mrs. Peron, you're no longer president, and you're under arrest. The new president, Jorge Rafael Videla, who is infamous today for starting the Dirty War, which saw Argentine killing Argentine in one of the darkest eras in Argentine history, refused to move into the presidential residence with the Peron's bodies there because it's just creepy.
It is creepy.
A little bit.
So the government released the body of Evita to her sisters who had it buried in the Duarte family tomb in the famous Recoleta Cemetery in Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires. Good for them. That's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them. I've always wanted to go to Brazil.
We're still in Argentina, baby.
Oh, shit.
God, so close, sister. So close.
We'll get there next time,
Same
guys.
continent. Same continent.
I'm sorry. I went to public school. I don't know.
We're in for the home stretch. Ready, guys?
Yep, let's go.
Evita's tomb, or Evita's coffin.
All right, home stretch. Let's go.
No, keep going. We're gonna keep reading this. Ignore it.
Evita's coffin now lies behind locked doors, through a trapdoor in the floor of the mausoleum, through another steel door in the floor, and a specially made nuclear bomb-proof tomb. Which means that if Buenos Aires is ever destroyed by a nuclear attack, there will be only one thing left, and it is Evita. The Argentine government went to extreme lengths to make sure the body of Evita would never go missing again because, as President Arambrú said, whoever possesses that woman owns the country. But, despite having succumbed to cancer 72 years ago, many in Argentina would argue it does not matter where her corpse is because Evita viva. Evita lives on in the hearts of her people to this day. And through the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical of the same name. Do you want me to do the smash or pass, or do you guys have thoughts? You probably have many thoughts.
I have a lot of thoughts on all of that. That's crazy, first of all. All of that.
And now she's just laid to rest. She went through all that, and now it's just like...
Hey, you know what? At least now she can...
Do you know what I think is really, shitty?
What?
So, she was buried in her father's family's crypt. Peron was initially buried in his family's crypt. But then at one point in the 80s, his corpse, somebody broke in and they cut his hands off and they held him for ransom.
They held his hands for ransom?
Because remember how, you see the movie, the musical, you know how they're always like this?
Yeah.
They cut the hands off because apparently, his hands were his thing.
Wait.
That...
Like, the hands of an actual person?
His body's hands.
So they
cut his hands off. And so then his supporters built this museum at his country residence where he's buried. And I went, why the fuck isn't she buried next to him? Why is she buried with her father's family? Who didn't tolerate her.
No.
So... I'm going to Google Translate a letter to the government of Argentina saying, I think Evita should be married to the Quinta San Vicente to be buried next to her husband.
Exactly.
Because if he's safe, she's safe.
There's a lot going on with this.
She's behind 3 steel doors and a nuclear safe too.
Yeah.
So
if there is ever
She's
nuclear
set.
war, I know where I'm going.
Evita Peron's.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be sitting there.
IHOP. What, you want to go to IHOP? Pancakes.
Meanwhile, there's gonna be me sitting in Evita's tomb drinking my Argentine Malbec. Girl, you thought your times were crazy.
And I'm gonna be barebacking in IHOP.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Oh.
I have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
Smash or pass? Madonna.
First of all, I think it's crazy that we haven't brought up Madonna once.
Yes.
Because
because
of her role in the movie.
Yes. Did you with Agatha All Along? Have you been watching Agatha All Along?
I am aware of it, but
Okay.
I don't have Disney Plus. Hashtag financial insecurity.
I'll let you mind. I'll let you mind.
Oh my god. Oh, I would love to watch it.
Okay. But you know Patti LuPone's in it.
I do, and
Patti
she's the
LuPone,
original
she was the
Ava.
original. Well, Elaine Page was the original, but Patti LuPone is the
yes.
famous original. And one of the questions, she did Hot Ones with Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was either eat a death wing or look in the camera and say Madonna's a movie killer, or Madonna is not a movie killer. and she ate a hot wing, and she said, sometimes you just gotta speak the truth. And you know, this is one of my favorite musicals. I went through a Madonna I went through an Evita phase in 8th grade. Shocking, I know! Titanic, Evita, shocking, I know! For those of you audio listeners, I just got on Paul's face.
That was so aggressive. I mean, yes, I was about to say something.
I know, and I want to stop you from saying something.
I know we were both like ready. We were like, and I'm about to say, beat us to the punch.
But
Right.
like Madonna was not very good in them.
No.
Okay.
I'm
That's
on
two.
one with my
Yeah.
bell.
Do you know when I pinned his? Paul's hair is so thick. I hate it. Mine's
Are you
thick.
sure?
Paul.
Because this hairline says something different, bitch.
No, it is like you have like naturally it's thick, like you're thinning, but like
Yeah.
the consistent. I have naturally thin hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna be bald in another year. What can you do?
Um.
Pour one out for
Oh,
the
girl,
homies.
no, that was a $5 clip. Don't get too comfortable with that in your hair. I'm taking that back. You can keep the veil, but I want the clip back.
Yeah, I'm just serving and working.
The Madonna movie.
Yes, God.
The Madonna movie, not very good, but like Madonna, 80s Madonna, I'll smash.
I'll smash Madonna because she did a lot for the culture.
I'm so very gay, and appreciate Madonna,
You kind of have
but
to.
also
Are you gonna
I
pass?
pass. I pass.
Oh, citrus.
Intellectually, I want to ask, why do you pass?
I am unfortunately strictly attracted to men.
Oh, no, this is strictly like,
It's more
hyperbole.
like, do you
Hyperbole.
stand? Do you
Oh,
stand or
yeah.
not
Oh, I
stand?
didn't say that.
like, would you go on a date with Madonna?
Well, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's different. That's different.
Okay.
We're smashed.
That's
We
the,
would
like, we
diva
wouldn't actually
off.
sleep with...
We would diva off.
And I
Yes.
I purposely chose not to have the... I think the corpse of Evita Peron has been through enough that she didn't have to subject to smash or pass.
No.
I am never going to be able to go through
That was gonna be a hard pass because you saw what happened to everyone that fell in love with it.
After this episode,
Yes?
my dreams of ever going to Argentina have gone out the window.
Why?
We weren't very nice to her.
Who?
Americans?
We weren't nice to Ava?
I mean, we're nicer to her than anyone else. I didn't even get to like the whole girls' school her husband built after she died.
Oh, not the girls' school.
That's another story. Anyways, anything for the greater good.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming back on, Citrus. It is always such a good time to have you on. You're so fucking funny.
Yeah, thank you for having me back.
I honestly didn't think we'd have you back on until our final Titanic episode where I do Titanic conspiracy theories. But when you said you were a musical theater kid like me, I was like, Citrus will appreciate
You
the
already
story.
know. You already know. I appreciate it.
Did you enjoy the story?
No, I fucking loved it.
Okay, as weird as it was.
Yeah. Oh, and it's like I was always aware of like the musical, but
Were you
I didn't know
aware-
about the shrines.
Were you
And
aware that like Andrew Lloyd Webber left out the best part?
Why?
I want this
Why
musical.
wasn't the second act literally just
Them fucking corpses.
shrine, new burial place, another shrine? Like,
Could you imagine the epic like love ballad that Colonel Morricone could you just him stroking like a wax dummy singing this epic love ballad where you listen to the soundtrack and it's like, oh my god, this is beautiful, and you see it, it's like, I'm horrified.
to a
If you want to be extra horrified, on Hulu there is a miniseries called Santa Evita, based off the book by Thomas Martinez, that you can watch and you can see everything I talked about play out with actors.
Period.
oh, I'll have to, is it? I'll have to look at.
It's dubbed.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was curious. I was like, do we need subtitles?
You can watch in the original Spanish, but I always watch it dubbed.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Now, keeping in mind this comes out in November, is there anything you'd like to plug for the girls? Anything you'd like, any shows?
This comes out in November. So
Yeah.
like, check the socials. For things that don't
we
get.
are going to drop your socials in our... We'll have you plug them at them, but we're going to put them in the description. And if you don't already follow Citrus, go follow Citrus, because if you don't love Citrus, you don't love yourself.
Period. And what is that Instagram, Citrus?
So that Instagram is smells_like_citrus.
Is there any,
I think it's funny.
any other
I love it.
socials?
I have that as my Instagram. It's the same on TikTok, and I don't have a Twitter because I like to be brought on Twitter out of drag. So
Period. Me too.
which, if you want to find my Twitter, DM me.
Ooh. Oh no.
I'm not plugging that out there, but
Insert grinder sound here.
no, it's just out of drag, and I like to.
Keep things separate.
Yeah.
I need to follow you on Twitter.
Really?
I never tweet. Well, X.
I tweet sometimes when I'm like, I'll be like doing nothing, and I'm like, this would be so funny.
My only social media is the podcast social media. Like,
And that's enough.
Paul and I go halvesies on the social media, and even that's too much for me.
It's a lot.
I studied communications in college, so I know how rotten social media is for relationships.
It's so rotted.
So, like, and I didn't particularly like it before. Anyways, Paul, where can they find you?
You can find me at my personal Instagram and TikTok at Paulember, Paulember. And as usual, guys, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
And if you would like to follow me, please do so at The Real Deej Powers on both Instagram and on TikTok. And if you'd like to write me a love letter, you can address it to one of two places. You can either address it to the Casa Rosada in Buenos Aires, Argentina, or to Evita Peron's tomb in La Recoleta Cemetery in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And guys, oh my god, so the election has happened by the time this came out. We are doing this beforehand. I really hope that we are toasting to President-elect Harris right now. If not, you're going to have to cut this. Because we're going to be too sad otherwise.
It's a crying compilation if it's the other.
And I also hope at this point that the war in Gaza is over, but if it is not, please go on www.unicef.org, and from there you can donate to the refugees from both Israel and Gaza. Also, hopefully there is a resolution to the war in Ukraine. However, if not, you can also go on to UNICEF. That benefits children who are just innocent bystanders in these terrible world conflicts. And I think that's all she wrote. Yeah. So, until next time, just get buried, don't get embalmed, and keep your crypts extra tight.
And your corks loose.
Bye! Popular. You're gonna be popular.